Church bells are part of the soundscape of the United Kingdom. For hundreds of years they have rung out not only to call people to worship, but to mark important occasions in the life of individuals, the church and the nation. To celebrate the coronation of King Charles III on 6th of May 2023, the Executive Council of Church Bell Ringers launched a national appeal. The aim was to recruit thousands of people to be introduced to bell ringing in time to join in with the celebrations on Coronation Day. This is an account of how bell ringers in the village of Burnham in Buckinghamshire responded to the call to ring for the King. For the ringing events in Burnham, as well as using the large church bells, we also used handbells. Handbells have the advantage of being portable and are perfect for bell ringing demonstrations anywhere in the community.
Sorry, try again.
Okay. Why were you keen to join in with Ring for the King this year?
There were two reasons, really. One was to encourage people to come and ring handbells and tower bells to keep ringing alive in Burnham, but also to give as many people as possible the opportunity to ring a bell, and Ring for the King had a good ring about it. Although with the Queen's coronation in 1953, I had rung a peal, a 3-hour peal, to celebrate that. I clearly was not able to think about that this time, but thought that I would be able to ring handbells as well as a short touch on the tower bells, and the idea of ringing Zadok the priest, which is an anthem which Handel wrote in 1727 and was used first at George II's coronation, and has been used at all coronations since then. It seemed to me that it would be possible to reduce it down to 6 bells. Yes, it was a fairly cruel attempt, but it did mean that I could ring it on my own, if necessary, or encourage other people to join in with either other notes in the harmony or simple chords to accompany the 6 bells. And in the event, I think it came off quite well.
On 2nd of May, just 4 days before the coronation, we were invited to ring at Nicholas House Residential Care Home. We were to play for the residents as well as a party of children from Lent Rise Primary School.
But for Nicholas House, this is the first time, and a good time to come to celebrate the coronation, and bells do ring out a great deal for celebration. You might well hear that from a church tower. It doesn't matter what order you're in, and using this chart, you start with 10 and 12, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you don't see your number, don't ring it. If you do see your number, do ring it. The odd number is in your right hand, red. Okay. Everybody okay with that? Let's see how we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3.
even if you do it very...
That term is just starting, and then once I finish them, I put them at £4.
90 pence.
On the Wednesday, Viv took the bells and equipment to Burnham High Street, where we rang, as we do at Christmas, in the market.
I'm not here next week, but Chloe will be here, and she'll have a few bits and pieces.
Definitely. Sea bass.
Cheese, leaves. I use it as a dipping sauce as well.
The chocolate shop again is where we ring at Christmas anyway, and are always very warmly welcomed. We rang for the English as a second language group who meet there each week, again with people joining in.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2,
and Jill and Sylvia joining me to ring other music as well. So that was the Thursday. On the Friday we went to Forget-Me-Not. Vicky and Michaela and I rang Zadok, and also Vicky took the town crier bell around. So again, lots of people joined in ringing for the King. In the afternoon, Lynn, my daughter, took the bells and me to Len Try's house, where they were having a coronation lunch, which was delicious. And we rang Zadok again with people joining in. Joey joined Lynn and me on that occasion. Also, Lynn took the town crier bell round so that everybody had a chance to ring something for the King. Sunday, the United Reformed Church had invited me to ring Zadok at their Cuppa for the King. What better title could one think of? In a church, which is always warm and welcoming, but was absolutely festooned in red, white and blue. What else would you do? It was great fun to meet a number of my old friends and to ring Zadok several times, as well as other music, sharing the podium with a very talented young pianist. We didn't actually fall out. We managed to share quite happily together.
Tower bell ringers, take one.
That we're not being take two.
Hopefully not.
Okay, so just to get things rolling.
Well, bells have been used to celebrate news, both good and bad, throughout the time. So we rang for when the Queen died to remember her life, and we will also ring for funerals as well. And bells are used for happy occasions as well, so ringing for coronations, weddings, church services, anything we want to. So ringing for the coronation was one of the uses of the bells to celebrate what was happening as part of the country, and it was a nationwide thing of as many ringers at as many towers taking part at some point on that day. I think pretty much all the churches in the area were ringing locally, because we have a couple of ringers who come up on a Sunday, and they were ringing at their own towers. They weren't ringing with us that day.
It's been quite nice that that there had been a bit of publicity around Ring for the King that did bring along people like David, and we've had almost half a dozen other ringers show up. Before this, we'd been down to 4 or 5 in the Tower practice evenings. Now we're pushing a dozen if we're lucky. So it's really great that people are giving it a go and are sticking with it after the coronation.
Well, my main recollection was that it was the first day that I'd actually managed to ring the bell correctly on my own for the first time. So that was quite a surprise, actually, to actually achieve it on the coronation day.
Yes, unfortunately for those whose idea of bell ringing comes from the Mars bar adverts with the monks being hoisted into the air, unfortunately we do try to avoid that. So I'm sorry to burst that bubble.
You just keep learning new things. There's loads and loads of methods that you can learn to ring. So the first bit is learning how to handle the bell and becoming proficient in that. And then you start to learn lots of different things, and then basically learning a new language because all of the methods are nothing like anything else you will ever know. So that's kind of part of the process as well, and understanding what all of that language means so that you can actually ring whatever you want. And also part of the benefit is also if you can go ring at other towers as well. You can sometimes broaden what you're able to ring because of who they've got there and what they can ring. And also learning on different bells as well is also really, really useful because it really helps with your handling and helps you to understand how to ring a bell a bit more as well.
So the big shocker for me was there's no music involved in this.
I can't write it down.
No.
It's written.
But when the proficient ringers are ringing their bob doubles or whatever they are doing, they're doing it because they know the pattern in their head, not because it's written down in front of them, which is a big shock when you've come from a lifetime of reading dots on a page. I mean, my wife's very happy about it. She plays the oboe, so we weren't able to continue playing in orchestras together, so she's just pleased that I've found something to keep me out of mischief.
And it gets you out of the house on
Exactly.
Tuesdays.
And Wednesdays.
And Wednesdays.
Because I go to Hitcham as well.
Okay.
So this is one of the reasons that it's so helpful to be able to do 2 towers, because what I learned from Emma on a Tuesday, I can go and practice in Hitcham on a Wednesday. And now that I'm allowed to attend on Sunday, I can do 4 goes a week, which clearly has a huge impact on your progress.
It does vary from person to person. I have had someone who picked it up in a couple of months, but then I've also had people who have taken a couple of years. So, if they're there every single week, it really does help, because if you do have gaps while you're learning, it does hamper your process. And unfortunately also, the older you are that you start learning, it does also take you longer as well. But generally, I'd probably say 6 months to a year, most people will be competently handling a bell.
Is that?
No.
Yes, everyone can turn up and give that a go. You'll be fine.
But it's not quite as simple and straightforward as pulling that rope, because I believe you need to have a degree of understanding about what's happening up in the top of the tower as well, because this rope is connected to something which weighs between probably 4 and 1,600 weights. So you need to be very careful, and that's why Emma is actually very good at making sure that we don't get too wild with what we're doing.
Handbells were rung during the morning on Coronation Day to entertain members of the congregation in St. Peter's Church.
What I would like to praise Zadok, the priest, is actually on page 12 of the service order. The choir will sing, the organ will play, a lot more than we are playing. 1, 2, 3, 4.
After the tower bells and handbells had been rung in celebration, the congregation watched the live BBC broadcast of the coronation itself.
And then Jamaica. Governor-General Patrick Allen, Prime Minister Andrew Holness representing Jamaica. New Zealand. David Cindy Hero.
I mean, it's an amazing account of everything that you did over nearly a fortnight. Sort of looking back, was it fun?
It certainly was fun. For me, at least, I didn't do much of the humping. Viv and Shirley and Lynn did most of the carrying and fetching around. Thank you very much. But it was fun. It was tiring as well. But I've now recovered. And I hope many other people also found it a fun occasion. I shan't be around to ring for the next coronation, but I'm very glad to have rung for a second coronation.
Yeah.
Cats always like to get it on the act.
Oh,
They
yeah.
do.
That's very important.
Do you want to come and sit down?
Yeah, we are.
No, thank you. She's putting on all her party pieces.
Yeah.
Cheese! Excellent, thank you.
My knees.
Right, I've got down.
I like that dress.
Right,
Oh yeah, that looks really